Yeah, what's going on? This book's going to probably be like no book you've ever read because it's actually not really a book. I don't even know what to call it or what the classification even is, but I just want to run you through how to read it. Like I've designed it in a specific way, how to use AI as well to help you understand it the way your personality works. This is Teddy, by the way. He was tapping me before and he's like, yo, pick me up. And so I was like, he's actually also in the book as well. And so I thought I'd just pick him up and be like, yo, you can star in the video. So I'll put you down here, bro, and let's get into it. So I've constructed this book. I've on purpose not printed it because I think so many books, like books over there on the shelf, they just become trophies and you don't actually use them. A book is meant to be a tool and you're meant to actually use it and change an action within your life. So it's kind of a bit weird, and I'll show you how with AI. But the way I built it is after you read the legal disclaimer, because please definitely do read that, there's a section here which shows you around how to read the book based on who you are. I think that if everyone was taught things, if everyone knew your personality type and how you think and all that kind of stuff, then they could teach you things so you'd actually absorb it and you change something in your life. And so I've tried to design the book in that way. So the first task that I get you to do in the book itself is do what's called a 30-minute stream of consciousness. Now, what that is if you're a verbal person, you like speaking, or if you're like someone likes to write, my sister really loves writing. My business partner Steve probably typing. He's a typer. Depending, you pick one of these three mediums or whatever you like, and then you just start recording and you say, "I'm thinking about," and you just speak for 30 minutes, or you journal write for 30 minutes, or you essentially just type for 30 minutes. Now, it doesn't matter what you say. You just meant to say the things that you're thinking about with no filter at the same time. And you'll know if you're not a talking person, if you take 10 minutes and you're like, I don't know what to say, you're probably maybe a writer or a typer or something like that. Then once you get this 30-minute like stream of consciousness prompt, what you want to do then is you add it into the AI GPT. Now, what this does is the AI GPT, it's then going to give you a personality profile based off you. And then once you have this, you can save this. You're probably going to be pretty interested in this, to be honest, once you see it. Like on the weekend, my brother and sister-in-law, like we were all doing personality typing, and she was getting her to do it with all her family, and was like hilarious because they're like, "Oh, this is me," kind of thing. But it's one of those things which people, you'll probably really get a lot out of this. But once you have this AI GPT, then what you can do is then the GPT itself has the whole book in the back, and so you can then ask it to explain to you, "Hey, what does this chapter mean based on my personality type?" Because ultimately, like that's the best way to learn. Like if a teacher knew everything about you, like the best teachers in school, like knew all the things about you so they could accommodate you. And that's the same with AI. But I've just created this book in a way so you can read it like that. So all you got to do, right, is I used a tool on my phone called Otter, and I essentially just spoke for 30 minutes when I was walking around the park. So I just hit export over here. Now, if you're writing, all you need to do is you just need to take photos of it. Or if you just type it into a Google document or a document and then paste it in. You want to go off, bro? He wants to go off and go back on his bed. And so then all you got to do is the GPT, this is the part here. So you'll find the GPT in this section, your custom GPT. So you just say start like that. It's like pretty easy. And then it goes through. Yep, welcome to here. And it says to begin with, add in your 30-minute stream of consciousness dump. So I just go here, add photos or files, stream of consciousness dump here, and then I hit enter. And then what it's going to do is it's going to just look at all the patterns of how I spoke in that interaction, and it gives me like a 5-part summary on me and who I am. And this 5-part summary, to be honest, is most people, no one's ever really done this, and everyone I've shown this who've done it, they're like, this is crazy. So you're probably going to get caught in this part and asking AI a lot of questions, but it gives it to you in these different parts, right? And then based on this, I can just go next, and then it gives me another part, and it gives you 5 parts in total. So it even gets your Myers-Briggs profile. So if you go here, if you go 16personalities.com, I think about 850 million people have done this test. It like loops in and gives you your personality profiles, which is pretty good. And obviously it's not 100% accurate, but it gets a pretty good gauge on who you are. And it just does it based off like what you said and the patterns of what you said in everything, right? Which is pretty cool at the same time. And so then we go part next, right? And it gives you the 5-part profile. Now, once you have the 5-part profile, what you then do is then you can take each chapter as you're reading it, and you can say, hey, I'm reading this chapter of the book at this certain time. Can you please explain it to me so that I would understand it? Let me just go through and I'll do all the parts now. So I actually just want to show you the full thing. I wasn't planning on doing this, but I think this would be necessary. And the video is only 5 minutes long, so it's all good. So we go next. So now we've got part 3. And then what you're probably going to want to do is you're probably going to want to save this part as well. So next. There it goes here. Next. Right, next part 4. Part 4, right? And then we go next part 5. And then what that means is as you're going through and reading each section, right? Let's say you're at, 6.1 and you're like, hey, can you explain to me 6.1 what that actually means? It'll then explain to you in your own language. Cool. Now that I've got all those 5 parts, I can then say, let's say I'm reading this part of the book 6.1. Now, can you please explain to me 6.1 what the chapter is about first? And then you can ask it, okay, what's the chapter about? Because again, I don't care if you butcher the words, how you read it or whatever, but I want you to understand it so you can then take action, right? So this is what it talks about. Here's the truth. This isn't stagnation. It talks about what it actually is, chapter 6.1. And then you can explain it to me in as many words as you can so I can understand it based on everything you know about me, right? And it just goes through and just writes it. This isn't about selling, it's about surviving the mirror void you've been creating, and it just runs through, explaining it in a way that I actually understand it. So inevitably, all education would be the best if people could just understand everything about you, so then they can transmit it in a way that you understand it, and then you can integrate and you can actually change something within your life. So that's the reason why I haven't printed this book. That's the reason why it's free. If you like it and stuff like that, please feel free to share it with other people. If you found value as well. At the same time, just make sure that they read all the legal disclaimer and the stuff, because it's a pretty heavy book as well. And it's not really a book, it's a system and that you actually kind of go through. But yeah, I hope you really enjoy it. If you get a lot of value, just let me know and stuff like that. I know a few people who've read it thus far have just gotten so much out of it. And it took me a lot to actually put this out there, because I'm pretty vulnerable in it, but I just believe in radical self-honesty. And I think self-authorship is one of the best things that humans can actually have. So yeah, I hope you enjoy it. Feel free to share it around with other people. Obviously, just make sure they read the disclaimer and all that kind of stuff beforehand, and have an epic day.